Hello again in this installment of Spiritual Wisdom, different lighting, and this is one of my comfortable videos where I'm lying down. So today I'm going to be talking about love spells. So this will sort of be a chat about love spells. And if you're new here, my name's Nicholas, and on my channel I talk about witchcraft, Wicca, paganism, self-love, manifestation, and all matter of spiritual and magical topics. So if you're interested in those types of things, please join the community. I'd really appreciate it. And if you like this content, please give me a thumbs up and click the bell icon so you'll be notified each time I post a new video. And I'm grateful to all of you who follow me here. Rather you're new or you've been here before, welcome. So love spells. Now, when I was new to the practice, as I said, it's so important to find out, it's always wise not to just rush in head first into spells and rituals. It's so important to find out what do you look at as morally right and wrong. What is morally right and wrong for you? And that can take time to learn as a practitioner, and it's important to honour your beliefs and values. Now, when it comes to, because I didn't, when I was younger, I just jumped in head first. And when it comes to love, there's only ever two people I was really romantically interested or loved. But, I didn't have the confidence then to go and ask these people out. And I thought maybe if I'd done a love spell on them, it would work. And both people, eager to say it takes me a long time to learn my lesson, because the first person I fell in love with, I'd done 2 different love spells on them. They didn't work. And then but when I managed to direct the confidence to ask this person out, so the spell had nothing to do with it, it was my confidence. And then when it came to another person I fell in love with, but that relationship, even though it was complicated, it did end successfully later on. But I done 2 spells on that person, they didn't work. And early on, and as I listened to other practitioners, I learned that doing love spells on specific people is not wise, because we all have freedom of will, the freedom to choose what we think, the freedom to, act, and the freedom to make choices. We've all got that. And the gods, spirit beings like angels and other spiritual beings respect freedom of will, because we've all got it. And it's a very powerful thing, and higher beings do not interfere with freedom of will. They do not enter, they may guide people, they may give people advice and guidance. Your own spirit guides will give you advice and guidance, but they can't interfere with your freedom of will, and they don't interfere with it, but they also don't interfere with other people's freedom of will. Now, and I can tell you from experience, I was lucky because it was my confidence in asking these people out what made that happen, but it was not necessarily the spell. Now, when it comes to love spells, I would recommend, if you're going to do a love spell, make sure you don't have a specific person in mind, right? Because you might, at this moment in time, you might be new to the craft, you might be very experienced, but if you're a woman and you're attracted to the opposite sex, you might like a man called Peter, right? You're attracted to Peter, you like the way he looks, right? But you've got feelings of attraction. You might think that's love, but it's not, it's just feelings of attraction. That person doesn't know you for Adam, or they know you but they don't feel the same about you. And if you've done a spell on Peter, for example, right? So if you're this individual and you've done a spell on Peter, just for talking's sake, you've done a spell on Peter, chances are it wouldn't work, it wouldn't work, But if it did work, for talking's sake, because sometimes people are very skilled at spellcraft, they're very powerful practitioners out there. We've all got deep power, but some people, when it comes to spells, are very skilled, very powerful. But most 9 times out of 10, if you're a practitioner and you do a love spell on someone you're attracted to, it's not going to work. And I can guarantee you that it's not going to work, because the universe respects freedom of will. And there's a lot of deities that may be protecting you or in your life that you've not met, but also respect freedom of will, and they may affect that spell. But let's say, for talking's sake, your spell did work on Peter, right? Or if you're a man attracted to a woman called Rose, or if you're a gay man like me and you're attracted to a guy called Michael, or whatever it may be, whoever you're attracted to, well, you may do that love spell, and let's say if it worked, it wouldn't be genuine love. What that person would have would be accession. So if a love spell worked on someone, it wouldn't be genuine love. And that's what you want, that's what you're seeking for, genuine love and romance. But that spell would not create that. Even if it worked, it wouldn't create that. It would just create infatuation, and that person would be drawn mad with you, and they'd be that, their mind, all they could think about, and they would be that possessed with you, they'd follow you everywhere. And even if, so that would happen. And then there's a beautiful episode, even though it's fictional, Harry Potter, when it's in the Harry Potter, it's the Half-Blood Prince, the love potion bit, and the professor says that it's the strongest love potion in the world, and it can't create actual love because that would be impossible, but it can create infatuation. So if you've done a spell on a specific person, for the most part, and I'm talking from experience, it's not going to work. But if it did work, because there are people that have done love spells and it has worked, but they've not got their desired experience because it worked, but it would just create infatuation. And then you might not be interested in that person anymore. That could happen as well. So it'd be wise, and I'm talking from my mistakes because I've done love spells on people, they haven't worked. What really made, I was confident enough to ask that person out, and it was that confidence what made the relationship happen, And that's why in witchcraft we also talk about that before you consult the magical, it's always good to approach a situation on a mundane level. Do the mundane first, and if you've tried the mundane methods and it doesn't work, then you would do some divination. You would go inwards. If your intuition tells you to do a spell, and if you work with angels and guides, they tell you what the spell you're trying to do, you're trying to achieve with spell, if they tell you that's a good idea, your intuition, you do divination, and your divination tells you you should go ahead with certain working. And also it's so important to find out what your morals are in magic as well. What's morally right and wrong for you. Now, to me, at the time I didn't know that, or maybe I was not, because I understand in the beginning when it comes to magic, it can be looked at as a quick fix. You can get anything you want with it. But that's not necessarily universal or magic works. But it's better if you love someone to tell them how you feel about them and be confident and, and if that person rejects you, that's, their choice, and you just have to let go and move on. But you can do, if you've struggled, like you've been on a few different dates, okay? So a healthy way to do a love spell, if you've been on a few different dates, but nothing's resonated, you don't feel that person matches with your energy, you can do a love spell to widen your options, where you ask the universe to bring someone into your life. You could write down a piece of paper, you could get there's so many different frameworks for a spell. You could get a spell jar, you could write in a piece of paper what you want that person to look like, but also focus more on what what type of personality you want your ideal partner to have. Fold that piece of paper towards you, put your name, date of birth on it, put it in the jar, different herbs, things like that. So you could do a spell to attract an ideal partner, which is, I would highly recommend that type of love spell where you're working with the universal energy to attract your ideal partner, the partner which right for you, not a specific individual, but you're asking the universe to align the circumstances. You're using magic to align the circumstances, and you're asking the universe to bring in your ideal partner rather than a specific individual who may or may not be right for you. So with magic, there's always exceptions, and it's wise when it comes to love spells. Don't do them on a specific individual. Just don't. Save yourself the heartbreak. Don't do it on a specific individual. And even if it did work, it'll cause infatuation, not real love, what you're looking for. But you can do a love spell to widen your options and to manifest your ideal partner. You can do a love spell that focuses on that, which is a lot healthier. As always, sharing knowledge with you, sharing you my experiences and some magical knowledge. And most spells, like domination magic, because a love spell on a specific person is a form of domination magic, most spells that involve bending or manipulating people's wills do not work. And then sometimes if they do work, they may work and there may be a karmatic or some type of consequence. So sometimes, when you're trying to bend people's freedom of will, freedom of will is one of the universal laws. So if you're trying to bend it, freedom of will, there will be you have to accept the consequences of that action, And depending on your intentions, the energy you put out, you'll always get it back in some way or form. As always, have a wonderful and amazing day, sharing some spiritual information and guidance with you to help you in your magical journey as well. Be you a practicing witch, a magical practitioner, whatever sort of spiritual journey you're on, sharing some wisdom and guidance with you. Bless it be. And stay safe, stay magical, and stay wise and spiritual. Bless it be.